Hi, I'm Corey. Welcome to Creating with Scraps. This is the last video in the Scrap Buster series, and hopefully it'll be a quick video. I'm going to do a final flip through of these books and give you the Scrap Buster video list, the index list for each of the books, and then answer just a few questions at the end. Gosh, it's hard to believe it's finally done. But I will start with the first book in the series, the one you've seen, but in the interest of showing you that they're different and showing you the index card and the Scrap Buster list, I will start with this one. All right, scrapped cover. This would be the inside cover page, and maybe I should zoom in just a little bit. All right, page 1. I'm not going to go over each of the items on each page because we've done that ad nauseum in the videos. So I'll just show you page 1 and page 2. I guess should I pull out all the stuff? No, we've already done that. Page 3 and page 4. And so I guess by listing the page, if you want to go back and look to see just that section of pages and how they were created, you can. So that's my thought process anyway. Page 5 and page 6. Page 7. Page 8 and page 9. Page 10. And page 11. Some folks asked for screenshots, time to do screenshots, so that's kind of why I'm pausing at each page. Page 12 and page 13. Page 14 and page 15. Page 16 and page 17. Page 18 and 19. Page 20 and 21. Pages 22 and 23. Pages 24 and 25. Pages 26 and 27. Pages 28 and 29. Oops, I should move that over so you can see it. Pages 30 and 31, page 32, and then the back cover. And in the other two books, on the original back of this, the front cover, back of the tag, I wrote down which items were made in which videos. But for the two subsequent books, what I did was I put the Scrap Buster video order and what items were created on a page, and then the index of each of the journals on the back page. And so let's see. So the index of items used for this particular journal, and I list each of the Scrap Buster items and which page they're on. So the cover, page 1 all the way down. So here is a list. So if you copied along or followed along and created this, and if you did one with 32 pages like this initial book, this is the list, and I'm trying to make sure that the whole thing is in frame so that you can screenshot. And it tells you, like on page 1, there was a journal card, tab, tuck, tag, matchbox, button spot. So I did that for each of the pages. And clearly on page 23, I put a whole bunch, triangle tucks, the second type, there's more than one type. Layered Tim Holtz paper pocket, which was something different. Tags, journal cards, pocket flip, stamp, card, tab, paper clip. So anyway, everything that you'll find on that page for this particular book is listed right here. Okay, and I figure that's long enough. You saw it. And then on the back of each of these books, the back cover, I took a glassine pastry bag that had been coffee dyed. I folded up the bottom to make it fit, and then I put some kind of a lace or ribbon or something cluster on the pocket that I made, where I folded it over to make a pocket, and I sewed that in place, and then I sewed down both edges to make the pocket. And then the index card of items used will be in here, and then on the other two, the numbers of each Scrap Buster video and what we made will be in that. And then a quote. And then on the other two journals, the ones that I am selling, I will put a card to the purchaser in the back. So that little back pocket there. And that is journal number 1. That was the original, and there's already a flip through, but this is just, with the idea of showing the index card. And I don't remember if this one's number 2 or number 3. Let's just peek in the back here. And of course, the part that says doesn't show. I think this is number 3. The one with the lace spine, I think, is number 3. And so I'll do the one with the canvas spine. And what I came up with for the closure, they're each a little bit different because I don't like to do any exactly the same. So one of the doily pieces that we had considered for the spine, what I did, so this is the canvas covered spine, and I took that doily and I sewed a piece of ribbon, thick ribbon, over the top. Okay. And then I put one of those vintage keys that I found and that I got in auction and shipped Shawana on to there, and then just open it. And the sides are a little bit longer because I like the way it closed in the front. So when you take this off, this closure off, you've got the doily, right? But your ends of your ribbon are slightly different. And that is because of the way I wanted it to come around and tie. So that's included. Now I'm going to go straight to the back on this one so that I can pull out these lists, right? And I can do them for a screenshot. So here is, if you are wanting, a person who was wanting the screenshots, here is the Scrap Buster videos and what was made in each video. So there you go. I'll try to zoom in a little bit for those of you who are wanting a screenshot. The video number and the items that were made in each video. And then also on the bottom is the different types of altered paper clips and which we used in the videos. Okay. And then for this, oh good, this is the right one. The canvas spine was what I call journal number 2. And here, I'll need to zoom back out. There you go. Here is the index of Scrap Buster items used on each of these pages and where you can find them. So on page 20, you will find an insert Tim Holtz the squirrel video. Oh, because those are the pages that, the 4 extra pages that we get in journals 2 and 3 that we didn't have in journal 1. So there's 36 pages rather than 32. So the insert was a Tim Holtz squirrel video, and then a tuck, cluster, pocket, punches, and tags. So there you go. There's that. Okay, and I will put these back in the back of the book. And journal 2. It's very similar to journal 1, but there are some slight differences. Okay, so inside cover, page 1. Again, I'm just kind of going slow so the people who wanted to do screenshots can. A couple different people asked about it, so. Page 2 and 3. Pages 2 and 3. Pages 4 and 5. Pages 6 and 7. Pages 8 and 9. I don't do screenshots, so I don't know how long they take, so I apologize if I'm going too fast or too slow. Okay, pages 9 and 10. Did I do that right? No. Dang it, now I lost track. Okay, cover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ah, I'm glad I checked. 10 and 11. 12 and 13. 14 and 15. 16 and 17. 18 and 19. 20 and insert on 20. 21. 22 and 23. 24 and 25. I really like the color blend on this one. Don't know why, but I do. 26 and 27. 28 and 29. 30 and 31. 32 and 33. And the dandelions look okay today, so I don't know how much more browning they'll do. 34 and 35. 36. And then the back pocket, the glassine pastry bag pocket. And again, whoever purchases it, I will put a card in this back pocket. All right, and that is journal number 2. And I am not going to do a video on my Etsy shop when I load these on my Etsy shop. I haven't loaded them yet. I will take a couple screenshots or snapshots and load it up there, but I don't know exactly what time it'll be. So that's journal number 2. Okay, and I will list this on Etsy as journal number 2. Journal number 1 is the one that's mine and that we used for our reference, and it is not for sale. So journal number 2. Journal number 3, that's the one with the cotton lace spine. And I did the closure on this one just a little bit different because I wanted to. And there's also an option on this one. You don't have to use the cotton lace. It's a different cotton lace, but the cotton lace band that I put around it. So just a big piece of, I don't know, it's not really canvas. It's kind of a cool fabric ribbon, basically. And I tied it in a knot because I wanted it in a knot to hold the key instead of a bow, but I have no fingernails. Oh, there we go. So a knot, but you don't have to use that if you choose not to. I also did a lace closure, and I sewed Velcro on the lace closure. So if you just want the ribbon, you can use the ribbon. If you just want the lace closure, you can use the lace closure. Kind of an optional thing. And this is journal 3, and it's the one with the cotton spine, cotton lace spine. Okay, inside cover and page 1. Oh, shoot, I almost forgot. I'll do these. Okay, this is, again, the Scrap Buster. I guess I don't really need to do this because if you took a screenshot of the Scrap Buster videos, that would have been on the other one, for those wanting a screenshot. And then here is the index of the different items, and they are slightly different than, they're more similar to journal number 2, but they are slightly different. So I'm going to move that to the side and put that down so you can screenshot that if that's what you're wanting to do. And again, all the different items you find on the page and each page number. All right, I'll put those in the end. All right, back to this. Okay, inside cover and page 1. Page 2 and page 3. I don't think this was on there. I think I added it because it was just a different type of a paper clip and I didn't like where it was going to go, so I moved it. So that might not have been on the original video. 4 and 5, pages 4 and 5. pages 6 and 7, pages 8 and 9, pages 10 and 11, pages 12 and 13, pages 14 and 15, pages 16 and 17, pages 18 and 19. I like the colors on this one too, maybe because there's a little bit of blue in there. Page 20, insert, and page 21. Pages 22 and 23. I like the colors on this one too. Pages 24 and 25. I like the way that one flows too. Yeah, some strike you more than others. Oops. Pages 26 and 27. Pages 28 and 29. Pages 30 and 31. Pages 32 and 33. And that one still looks okay. Page 34 and 35, and I put this card, remember last night, I didn't have a card in there, I don't know where I put it, and I selected this one because I liked the blue and how it picked up the blue over here, so I thought they tied pretty well together, and there's a little bit of blue back there. So that, what did I say, 34 and 35, yeah, good. Page 36, and then the back cover. And again, whoever purchases this will have a note, a letter, card, what have you in there from me. And there's the index list and the Scrapbuster video list. Okay, wow, those are done. I am going to take probably a week. I let so many things go at home. I was noticing that last night while I was working on these. So I've got lots to do, and then I'm going to be in California for a bit, visiting some high school friends. So I'm going to go to my hometown in Petaluma and visit friends from high school. So I'll be there, and then I will come back and I will show you how I've done what I've done, and I'll have finished up by then the Stamperia Forest journal. And then towards the very end of this month, which is mind-boggling that July is almost done, I will hopefully have completed and show you my first mini of the month, the Daffodil journal. All right. Okay, so somebody asked, and I'm going to have to change the angle of the camera, so I apologize. Oh, I just pulled the whole thing out. Sorry about that. Asked how and I'm going to try to angle this different tripod so that you can see the sewing process for the, let's see if that'll work. The sewing process for the paperclip pockets. And maybe I can loosen this up and try to get it down like that a little bit more. Sorry, I'm playing with the arm here. It's a different angle, so let's see if that works. Okay, so when I turn my machine on, it goes to a number 1, and on my machine that means the stitch goes in the middle. Let's pull it down a little bit more. Here we go. The stitch goes in the middle of the red line. It's not justified to the right or to the left, and it's just a plain straight stitch. Now, on my machine, if I want the stitch to be longer because I'm sewing paper, right, I just push this button, this plus button, and it makes the stitch longer. And the one above it is for the zigzag stitch, if I want to make the zigzag stitch tighter and wider and tighter. So that's a standard stitch on my machine, and it shows down the middle of the red line that's on this foot. Okay, I don't know a lot about sewing machines. I apologize. I just know the basics on how this one works. And so when I'm sewing over the paper clip, 2.5 is on my machine, well, you can't see it now, is the standard, and so I make it just a little bit wider. And to make the paper clip, I'll push this back for just a sec so you can see it. So the paper clips, I have a video, a Scrapbuster video of the paper clips. What I do is I get a piece of dictionary page, and this is old and thin, so I'm going to fold it down a little bit. I think I'm going to make it a little bit shorter. Fold it down a little bit, and then I'll fold the edge in on one side. All right. And I'll take my paper clip and I put the shorter side down on the back, basically on the back. I don't know how well you can see that with my machine there, but it's like so. And then I get a little strip of my packing tape and I tape that down. I tape the paper clip in place. I'll fold this over, and a lot of times I'll just put a little bit of glue on this edge right here just to hold it in place. And oh, my new needle tips are running late, which was a bummer because they were supposed to be here by today and I wouldn't have to do the earwax pink thing anymore. Anyway, you know what I forgot to do because I'm talking so much? Before I put this down, before I tape the paper clip on the back, I get my scrap lace bin and I sew the lace on. You can do it after. It's just, well, here, it's just a whole lot easier to sew it in place before you put it on the book page, but I can do it. And I'll just happen to use this one. It's just easier if I were going to put lace or something on. So I'll put this in and I'll move my machine forward just a little bit so hopefully you can see it. And then let's see if I can come down a little bit more that way and back. Well, maybe that'll work. So I will sew the top. And the reason, again, that I sew the top is because, sorry, I gotta move my foot. My machine has the automatic, so I can push it with my hand, but I learned to sew with my foot, so that's how I do it. So put this at the top, and then I just go, I mean, there's nothing up there other than ribbon, but I sew it because it's flat. It doesn't create any additional, go back and forth just a little bit. Oh, see, now I have my machine on a cart, a IKEA Raskog cart most of the time. I don't usually put it on my desk. And I have a pair of scissors that are on the Raskog cart on a magnet. And so I always have my scissor cutting or my thread cutting scissors. All right, so I've got this, and now I fold this over to wherever I want it. My goal here is to make it the paper clip about in the center. All right, and then I will fold this edge in, just again for stability more than anything else, right? Just to make my page sturdy. And I folded it too much, so let's just cut that off. Sorry, you didn't see me do that. I folded it too much, so I had to cut it off. All right, and like that. And I will ink this so that I'm not wasteful, and I will use this. I ink it simply because you can see easily where your pocket is, where your paper goes. Okay, fold it down like so. All right, the bottom, there's no paper clip, so it's an easy thing to sew. And again, I usually start in from the edge just a little bit so that when I back stitch, the threads aren't at the very end of the project. I'll go back and forth. Now, I've only broken a needle once when I went too fast when I was sewing over the paper clips. So watch, today will be the day I do it again for the second time. And I've made a whole bunch of these. Cut threads and toss them. All right, then, so I've got the bottom of my new pocket sewn, and now I'll go over the top. And this is the part where I just kind of go slow, because this is where I'm going to go over the paper clip. Again, I move in just a little bit from the edge so that when I go back and back stitch, and you can see as I get closer to that paper clip, I just go really slow. I'll do one stitch at a time. And then once I'm over the paper clip, I'll go back and back stitch, and that is that. That is how I sew. Now on my machine, I'll try to angle the camera up again. Threads clipped, and that is that paper clip. I can decorate the front, put my little tuck. Let's grab a piece of card. Well, of course, I grabbed a piece of tissue paper. All right, so there's my little pocket, and then I'll decorate the front, and that's how I do it. On my machine, and I'm going to play with the arm again. On my machine, the tension is at the top, and if I'm understanding it correctly, this tension controls how tight my stitch is. So if I get really wonky stitches when I'm sewing on paper, that usually means my tension is too loose, because if you're sewing fabric, 3 to 5 on my machine is the standard range. So if I'm sewing fabric, I'll start at a 4. But when I sew paper, I'll use a 2, and that makes the thread on the bottom a little bit tighter. And then if I'm sewing vellum, I'll do like a 1.5 or maybe even a 1, or tracing paper, because that's what my machine requires. Now some people, they said they don't ever have to mess with their tension, they get good stitches. But on my machine, I found that I have to change the tension. All right, so that is the sewing machine and how I sew and what I do with that sorting process. All right, I am going to take this out and bring you over. So this is my workspace. There's not normally a sewing machine on it. I put it in my IKEA cart. And then to the left of my workspace are the tools that I grab 99% of the time. And then right underneath it, you've seen me grab down there, are my paper trimmers, different sizes of paper trimmers. And my sorting process. Normally I come over to my right, and there are those little clips. There's a magnifier because my eyes are old. There's an additional light. Normally there is just one. Here, I'll move back a little bit if I can. Let's see if I can zoom out a little bit more. There we go. Normally there is one bin of paper one bin over here, and I just kind of throw my scraps in it. But because this project has been such a big project, I used the Squirrel Tim Holtz videos, and I had scraps from that. And then I did all the Scrap Busters videos used the Tim Holtz paper and paper scraps, and then all the journals I've just made. So I've got a whole bunch of the Tim Holtz paper and then the paper I've used in this journals. So what I've done is, this is notebook paper. I used just little dollar store sorters so that it makes it really quick when I'm sorting, so I can grab what I want. I keep my fabric scraps up here on the top, and I use that, I don't know, 95% of the time, I suppose. And vellum, small, whoops, this doesn't go there. This doesn't go there. Oh, this is the paper clip I just made. So transparent paper, vellum, tracing paper, that kind of goes here. Small Tim Holtz cardstock goes here. Index cards, those Tim Holtz journaling cards pack that I got, those go here. Bigger Tim Holtz paper, coffee dyed scraps, writing lined paper scraps, and then cardstock scraps. And then up here are what I use for my clusters. There's a little bin for book page, but I didn't use it much in this, so it wasn't out. But the little itty bitty bits, I actually do save most of these, and I use these for clusters and other things. And why do I save them like this? Well, because when I come back, I'm going to move my sewing machine just because it doesn't belong there. I'm going to move the sewing machine, sorry about that, and I'll put it over on the Raskog cart where it's supposed to live. See, it lives on a Raskog cart, and I just come over here and sew when I need to sew something. And yeah, it's a super sturdy cart, and it's served me really well. And more of my sorting process. Oh, while I've got you here, and then since I'm over here, that is my signature rack. And I've got more knitting needles in my classroom at school. And so once that opens back up, I'll go get the rest of the knitting needles. And then I just put different types of book print, book page over those. And so if I need a page for something, I just grab it. It's right there. I don't have to dig through my stack. So that's been a really handy find, or a really handy make, I guess. And then again, area to the left of my workspace, what I use all the time, back to my workspace, and okay, here we go. I'm going to, oh, you know what, before I put the camera back in its little holder, I will show you really quickly. Over there is my cotton frizz rack. Yes, it makes me happy. And the vintage lace and vintage spools. And then that's how, before I tear them apart, that was a mailbox slot that I used in my classroom. And since I'm not going to have a physical classroom next year, I brought it home to sort different book signatures in there. And then some of the journals I've either made or been gifted or purchased. Did I purchase any of those? Yes, I did. The one in the back, the tall one in the back, is Tracy Fox journal that I purchased. And then ribbon and spools and some of that type of thing. And then my junk journal sign. And then over there is my printer's tray. And over here, those bins are those two don't normally live there, but since I've been making so many of the Scrap Buster items, and when I use them for the videos, I kind of sorted it that way so that when I was putting the journals together, I could just pull from those. And then those are the journals I've either purchased or been gifted. That was the new shelf that I made right after school was out, because my shelves originally ended with the Starbucks card bin and that up there, and I just needed one more shelf underneath it to hold the journals and the works in progress kind of a thing. And I still had plenty of room on my die cut counter. And that over there, you will see hopefully sometime soon in my Etsy shop, and it's Creating with Scraps. Those are old metal tools and such that I've, foraged and scrimped together to make the word scraps. So anyway, that's coming. Those are gifts that I'm giving. And then here is where I normally sort my ephemera and my paper scraps. So there you go. Okay, now I'll put it back where it belongs. And I will answer the rest of the questions. Let me see if I can fix this back to where it should be. Nope, that didn't work so good. Here. There we go. Maybe that's a little better. Okay, sorry about that, but I couldn't figure out another way to do it. Flip through of each with index, screenshots, yes. How I sew the paper clip, yes. Oh, what did I do with them? Oh, they're over there. I'm going to reach around. 2 of the books that I've purchased for my fall, from the reason I'm selling the Etsy things, are these 2. One is The War That Saved My Life. Great recommendations. The reviews are awesome. I've started reading it, and I think it's going to be a phenomenal book, but I don't think I'm going to start the year with it, simply because I think it'll be a little bit more intimidating for some of the kids because there's a lot of pages. So we will definitely read this, and I'll purchase all the kids' book, but that might be a little bit later. I think we might start the year with this one. It has fewer pages. The print is a little bit bigger on the pages, and I'll break it down by like a chapter a day because the chapters are so short. Or maybe, well, here, this one's 2 pages, 2.5 pages. So maybe we'll do a couple chapters a day just to get them started. But again, a great book that was recommended to me called Save Me a Seat. And they address social emotional learning, some challenges that kids face, that all kids face everywhere in schools today, differentiation, learning challenges, nationality and race differences, and just ways that encourage people to live together and work together and learn together. So those are 2 of the books that we will be reading this year in our novel study. All right. The other day, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, I said I ordered my Seth Apter Vintage Beeswax from emeraldcreek.co, and I said Colorado because in my brain CO is Colorado, but it really is a Canadian company. So the Emerald Creek is a Canadian company. Just FYI, not Canada. Sewed my signature rack, cotton frizz. Okay, here we go. Why did I sort those bits that way while I was creating them? Well, I sort them the way I create with them. And so, like these offcuts of, page, coffee dyed copy paper, right? Well, there's right off the top of my head, I wrote down 5 different ways I can use these. I can just grab one of these and make a gale fold down. Okay, well, what I call a gale fold down. Fold this, fold the edge over, because these sizes are the perfect sizes for a gale fold down. And then I can just grab this bin and quickly make, not too long, quickly make a whole bunch of the gale fold downs, right? Because they're all in the right spot for making that. And all right, standing up doing this, I'm not so great at it. There we go. So there is a gale fold down. So I can use that. I can use these for my pocket flips, these long strips. Sorry, I sat back down just because I wasn't working real well. Oh, here's a cardstock one. Great, perfect. Pocket flip. I measure the distance on my pocket, fold it up, fold it down, and then I can decorate or stamp this. I've got a journaling spot underneath down in here, and then this piece will sit over the edge of my pocket. A notebook, or a scrap pad. I can use one of these with a bunch of other ones for creating a scrap pad, or I can pull several of the same size. I've got one I just put together over here because they were all the same size, and sew these together and put them in a little notebook, right? A little book or a little notebook. So that's there. Concertina, the one where we take these pieces and fold them back and forth on each other and put a belly band around it. So concertina. And then collage. Any leftover bits, I can just, when I need this particular color, when I'm making a collage page. So that's why I store them or sort them the way I sort them for this particular project, and why I sort them the way I do when I'm just, doing a quicker project, because I sort them based on the ways I use them. It just makes the creation process for using them a whole lot faster. All right, I think that was it. Wow. Maybe if time allows this week, I will do a little bit more about me, but I'm not going to make any promises on that, simply because it's kind of outside of my comfort zone. So we will see, but I will come back probably in a week or so, week and a half, something like that, and start sharing the process of this Stamperia Forest. I also bought, with the Stamperia Forest, I found, and I don't remember if I mentioned it or not, I've got the Stamperia Forest paper, which I've got. Oh, and I also found the Graphic 45 paper that was with forest animals, but it has different colors. So there's more blues and pinks and vibrant colors. So I may do like a parallel make with these, so that if you don't have Stamperia Forest, you can see we're doing the same things, just with different papers and different colors. And I like the neutral colors, but we've done a lot of journals recently with those neutral colors, and so it'll be good to see that you can do similar type things with different colors. All right, as always, thank you very much for watching. Oh, the rest of my Etsy things, all of those projects and pieces you see will go into, I'm going to create, well, I've created some scrap cluster kits, and I'll finish creating those. I've got a few more ideas, and the 2 for $5, all of those little bitty pieces will go in the 2 for $5, and I will say this, 2 for $5s are that include 2 pieces for $5, and it will include either a button spot or a cluster, and another one of the random pieces, plus something to mount the cluster on, whether it's an envelope or a vellum pocket or a tag or something. So it'll actually be 3 pieces, but one of them is just a base for $5. Now, to mail those, it is 75 cents. So it's really 2 pieces for $4.25, because the stamp is 75 cents. I just throw in the envelope. But it's just a whole lot easier to call it 2 for $5. So those will be in there, and then the scrap cluster kits will be there, and just depending on how I can finish them completely, how much I can get done. I have more of those 3x4 and a couple of the 3x3 mini albums that I made earlier in March or April or something like, not March, April or May, something like that. So I've got those, but that again won't be back until after I've done some of the things I need to do around my house and come back from California. So again, any questions, ask them. I'm happy to answer, and I'll actually have a little more time now to answer. And thank you so very much for watching, for your support, and happy creating.